Arizona wins 78-63 over Cal State Bakersfield. Hey everybody, it's Ben the Coin Geek. Thanks for Old Pueblo Coin here sponsoring this. Of course, as always, if you have any coins or currency, paper money, gold, silver, that type of stuff, Speedway in Columbus, Old Pueblo Coin can help you out with that, as always, free appraisals. And let's get on to the game analysis here of a Cal State Bakersfield game that was really bizarre. The first quarter, Arizona gets out to a nice start, probably one of the first quote-unquote nice starts we've had, dropping 22 points in the first quarter, having a 22-13 lead. We had a flurry of offense to start the game. Second quarter, they actually outscore us 14-13. Third quarter, it's just a slugfest of scoring. We give up 25 points, but we score 27. And the final quarter, everything slows down a little bit. We outscore them 16-11 for a final of 78-63. And it was very, how would I put this game? This game felt kind of sloppy. For those of you who were at the previous game, Arizona had, I think, probably their best game of the year. Just a very, very nice looking all-around effort. My word for the game was balance. This game was not balanced. This game was very different than that. There was a little bit of a defensive malaise to this game overall. And we'll see what happens going down the line here. Of course, there's some big news. Frederica Wallace is off the team. She hadn't played at all. Official announcement came this last week. We had kind of speculated last week that she would no longer be with the team as she was not on the bench at the previous game. And so that's kind of big news, making our bench shorter. But does the bench need to be any shorter when the coach is just going to keep making it shorter? That last game where we had balance, this game it was kind of the opposite of that. Noelani Cornfield playing the full 40 minutes at point guard. And then for your shooting guard, Michaela Purdue playing 34 minutes. Both had very good games overall. I mean, Purdue going 5 for 9 from the field, also getting a couple of assists. Noelani, what can you say? Player of the game, of course, 22 points, a career high is what I heard after the game. 7 of 12 field goals, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Also 9 assists, 6 rebounds. As always, she probably could have got to 10 assists if somebody could handle a pass a little bit better. But she just makes her whole team better. Love having her, love watching her. It's just one of those things that when you get a point guard that actually can score, can break people down, but then also chooses to go ahead and make those passes, that's good. Also, growth from Michaela Purdue. I think the first time I saw her play in the exhibition games, she just wanted to shoot and drive and score. And, this game I'm thinking very specifically of play in the first half where she had a kick out to her at the three-point line and 2 defenders collapsed on her. It's still a shot she would normally take. She made the extra pass over to a wide open Samaya Sungpong who hit the open 3. So nice ball movement from her. And I've seen a lot of growth out of her, or at least the way that she chooses to play. She's probably always been able to, some of it's choosing to play. So between her and then you had MJ playing 36 minutes, basically at the other small forward 4 position, not leaving a lot of playing time for other kids. But even beyond that, you saw 19 minutes out of Denia Trammell, one of her softest games, if you will. She was 3 for 13, had a hard time getting the ball to fall into the hoop. But, as always, she's going to be a force to reckon with. 3 or 4 from the free throw line. Had a game that for her is going to be forgettable, but that's okay. She still came down with 6 rebounds, and I think will always have a good positive effect on the game. I think the other shining star from the U of A fan perspective is Achola Magat, and she had, in 9 minutes, was 4 or 5 from the field with a rebound, 8 points. The fans love her. I just got to tell you right now, and they just love seeing her get on the court. I've been calling for more minutes for her just because we need to see them get minutes. And coach after the game in the press conference mentioned, hey, the kids need to get minutes. And so once again, then that leaves me with, Nora Francois Ford got 13 minutes, was once again 4 or 5 from the field with 8 points. She had a real nice outing as always. She had a couple blocks near the end of the game. But then Cameron Kitchen with 16, Molly Ladwig with 10 minutes, Tanyelle Welch with 2 minutes, and Blessings getting only about a minute of playing time. None of them were very effective from the field as far as your actual scoring would go, but they all add a lot. But also sometimes when you're only in for a couple minutes at a time, I don't know. So I don't know if Coach has something very specific that she wants out of them that they are or not doing, or if she sees something and says, hey, we worked on that, you didn't do it, now you're coming out of the game. I don't know. Because last week she benched Cornfield for the whole first quarter, and then she played the rest of the game. And that was clearly whatever type of team rules, disciplinary action, that's Coach's prerogative. And it was addressed after this game, and one of the reporters asked, and I'm really impressed with how Cornfield handled stuff, because she says, Coach is coach, and I'm the player. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a concept. Who's ever heard of such a thing? So hats off for that answer, because it's kind of what a lot of us have been calling for, I think, if we're a little bit older maybe. The days when a coach was a coach and a player was a player, I think is important. And it's something that's really been detrimental to the women's game. Men's game's been that way a long time, where it was a me first kind of thing. But basketball is the team sport, more so than any other team sport, where you have actually addition by subtraction. You can lose one player who's fantastic on paper, but really brings the entire team down. And we've seen that before. And here we have a team of kids that I think are still relatively undersized, and yet, just if they play as a team, they're going to be competitive. We'll see. So this team that we were playing, Cal State Bakersfield, well, it felt like they were making every three-pointer, but they were actually only 9 for 30. But I will say one of my things that I'm sure Coach is already, she was happy they won, but also disappointed in some of the defensive efforts, giving up 25 points in that third quarter. I wasn't quite certain why we weren't seeing more out of Kitchen or Welch coming in. I don't understand quite some of the defensive settings we had where we're letting girls stand wide open at the three-point line. Like, to me, at that point, you should be rotating in someone else on defense and watching to see if they're going to actually get out on the three-point line, because it looked like most of the shots that the opposing team made in that third and fourth quarter were wide open. And if you're at the game and you saw the game, you know what I'm talking about. They were very much so wide open game, wide open shots. So 18 assists to 13 turnovers. Okay, the real problem here is that the rebounding, we lost 28-37, and it was close up until the third and fourth quarter. I still see times when it looks like coaches told them not to rebound on the offensive end, but to go back, depending on the personnel that are in, because you'll see one of our players shoot, and you'll actually see our forwards start to head back the other way to get back on defense. So we had a flurry of great offense at the beginning of the second half, spurred on by turnovers, quick hands, and long passes down the court, which really that spurt in the first quarter and third quarter kind of maintained us. I mean, we're at a place where we are kind of sort of complaining about a 15-point win, so how spoiled are we already, right, after losing to a D2 school in an exhibition game? Work in progress. And I've no doubt that next game, even though I'm I guess complaining about the lack of playing time for some of the kids down the bench, you never know. Next game, Welch may play 30 minutes, and we've seen that before. Every game is different, and coach sees stuff that I don't see. They have a game plan they're supposed to play that I don't see if they're playing it or not. That's a whole part of the process. Coming up for the next 3 weeks, we've got Southern. Southern is still kind of, I have no idea what to expect from Southern. Their record is no good, but also their schedule is, number 11 Iowa, number 10 Iowa State, number 13 Ole Miss. Then they beat Tougaloo, which I didn't know existed. Then they played number 3 UCLA and number 22 Washington. So this will be a fascinating game. This is a team who has played teams that I think are definitely the next echelon above where we're at right now. And yes, they've lost, but they've got some experience. And once again, some of these smaller schools are going to have kids more our size, which is going to make a difference. But we'll see. Hopefully next week, the defensive efforts there. That's December 3rd. Then December 7th, University of New Mexico. They just came off of a 3-point loss at Cincinnati. They beat NAU, I think, by 25, 28 points. But then they got crushed by Colorado by 25, so it's hard to know exactly what we're going to see out of that team. December 10th, Eastern Kentucky. I guess, what are we, 6-0 now? And I thought maybe if we were 8-3 at the end of this, we'd be doing good. I think that's very doable, of course, now with a 6-0 start. Of course, now how fast expectations change. Everybody's going to be looking to say, hey, let's go ahead and sweep, shall we? Let's just go, let's have a perfect non-conference schedule. And I think that it's probably doable looking at the schedule, but also we're still a team that if we don't play together as a team and we don't follow through with what coaches is asking, we're gonna have some games that are gonna be kind of rough. So all that to be said, bear down. Thanks for joining me. As always, feel free to leave comments and get out there to McHale Center and support the kids. It's just a fun group of kids. Support the coaching staff and bear down.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.